What's up, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. We're going to go over New Japan Stardom Historic Crossover event that happened earlier this morning, late last night, at like 2 in the morning. I was not going to record it after like 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. I was going to rewatch the show when I got up because there was parts I missed. We to find out huge news that came out of the show. Kenny Omega will be returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling on January the 4th. He will be challenging Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Championship. That's huge. We also had the first match officially announced for one of the first matches officially announced, or not first matches officially announced. The first women's match officially announced for Wrestle Kingdom, the new IWGP women's champion Kairi Hojo, Kairi Sane, whatever you want to call her, will be defending her title against Tam Nakano. We did also find out another match was added to the Dream Queendom show on the 29th, joining the already announced match of Shiri versus Julia for the World of Stardom title. We have a non-title match that was added to that show. Kairi will be taking on Utami Hayashishita. That should be great because Utami Hayashishita is great. Kairi Hojo is great. But let's talk about this incredible show. The show is really good. Great matches. Some interesting chemistry between wrestlers I didn't think I'd want to see more of together as a team. Great stuff. Incredible match between Mayu Iwatani and Kairi Hojo. We're going to talk all about that and more. If you like what you see here, comment down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow the social medias at Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Misfit Wrestle TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, and right here on the youtube.com/Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Now I got all those plugs out of the way. Hope you guys enjoyed Full Gear last night as well. The review of that show is up on the channel. I was able to put that one together a little quickly than I thought I would be able to, because I had to get ready to watch the Stardom show. So that's what that review is all interesting. So we have the pre-show matches. We have an 8-man tag team match. LA Dojo guys defeated the team of Ryohei, Kose, Yuto, and Oscar. Fun little 8-man tag match. This was, nothing big happened on this show, on this match at least. Clark Connors, if you know him from a lot of things, he was in New Japan. He was in NXT UK as Joseph Connors. He was part of that UK tournament. He was also earlier this year part of the a fatal 4-way match for the AW All Atlantic Championship, which also featured Malachi Black, Miro, and the eventual winner Pac. So they win 9 minutes, 39 seconds. Again, nothing too big here. Next up, we had a 15-woman Stardom Rambo, which was won by Mirai. Entrance in this match. Some of my favorite entrances in the match. I was glad to see Hasuki get a spot on the show. She is great, especially after her hilarious spot at the Gold Rush show where she drop kicked the ladder into the ball of money that fell to the floor, which is still probably one of my favorite untimed, not on purpose comedic spots in wrestling. And we had Hina here. We had Rina. Kogoma, it was in this match. Waka, who later joined commentary, she's a ball of fun. Kashima, she's great. But Mirai wins. One of the longest matches on the show. Actually, it was the longest women's match on the show because it was a rumble of some sort. But I don't think they win anything out of that, but yeah. But we opened the show with Chaos defeating the House of Torture. Chaos featured Hiromu Ishii, Yo, and Yoshihashi. They teamed with Leo Rush. They defeated Evil, Dick Togo Show, and Yujiro. Like, okay, so look, the House of Torture is terrible. Okay, so, Evil's terrible. They should still. I still am pissed that they even decided to put the world title on him in the middle of the rise of oh, not the rise, but the well deserved championship run of Naito last year, or was it last year? No, it was 2020, and then the world shut down, and they thought it was a good idea to put the title on Evil, and then they immediately regretted that. So who knows what that is there? But yeah, brawl. You had chaos rallying and brawls were happening. There was a great move. Yo and Leo Rush had a double team move on Dick Togo for the win. Only 7 minutes, not long. Shortest match on the show. Again, chaos is great. House of Torture is terrible. One of the worst parts about Bullet Club. Next up, we got a 6-woman tag match. We had Queen's Quest taking on they defeated Donna Del Mondo members Hecla, Himike, and Maya Sakurai. We on the Queen's Quest we had Saya Kamatani, Azumi, or Azumi, or whatever you want to call her, I call her Azumi, whatever. And Lady C, Azumi, gets high praise during this match from Kevin Kelly. Talk about her incredible match of the year candidate with Starlight Kid earlier this year. We'll talk about Starlight Kid a little bit later in this review because they are on this show as well. Fun little match, after 5 minutes, the match started breaking down into a brawl. Kamatani went to the top rope, hit Sakurai with a 450, which was followed up. She used that to pick up the victory. Again, Azumi, great at what she does, as always, doing some great move spots in that entire match. One of my favorite things about her is like she has the look to become a star. She will become one. And she is in my opinion, she is a future World of Stardom champion. She is incredible. She is like I said during the prediction show. She's only 20 years old. Had her first match at the age of 11. It was either 8 or 11. But I'm pretty sure it was 11. She's grown into one of the best wrestlers on the planet. So that's cool to see. Saya Kamatani using the side effects of what happened during her match with Kairi. Both wounded, still recovering from their awesome time limit draw last night at the Gold Rush show. But yeah, Queen's Quest picks up the victory. It's not the first win for Queen's Quest tonight, and won't be. Actually, it was the only first of only 2 Queen's Quest matches that happened on this show. Next up, Zack Saber Jr. and Julia defeated Tom Lawler and Shuri. The pairing of Julia and Zack Saber Jr. is something I never thought I wanted until now. It was so cool. It's so great to see that. Zack Saber Jr. comes out there, talking the smack that he does, and says like Julia's going to be the next World Stardom champion, which I'm hoping that's true. And Julia and Starlight Kid, Julia and Zack Saber Jr. are unfazed by Tom Lawler and Shuri. Shuri and Julia just start beating the ever living piss out of each other. But this was a fun match. Lawler and Zack Saber Jr. came to blows before the bell. Julia and Shuri started trading straight. They started going at each other, rolled out to the ring, still went at each other. Inside the ropes, the other guys, Zack Saber Jr. and Tom Lawler got back into the match. They started the match. controlled the pace of the match here, eventually rolling out to the outside to join Julia and Shiri. Still fighting for ground control to break up the struggle. Shiri slammed Julia into Zack Saber Jr., who had, I believe it was a figure four on the ramp, and Shiri delivered a scoot slam onto Zack Saber Jr., which was a great spot. Shiri and Lawler hit a tandem of running knees to top of the ramp to Julia and Zack Saber Jr.'s back. Zack Saber Jr. and Tom Lawler then goes back grappling to a standstill before the double tag left Julia and Shiri in the ring alone. So this will be one of the first few meetings between the two ladies before the 29th. Shiri, Julia traded heavy strikes, prompting Lawler to split them apart. Shiri was not a fan of that. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, no, I don't fuck with that. So both Shiri and Julia, which even Kevin Kelly's like, what the hell is what's going on here? They start beating the shit out of Tom Lawler. So I thought that was funny. But eventually they go back to hating each other. So that little teamwork didn't last very long. Julia, like I said, and Shiri start continuing their back and forth heavy eventually forcing another tag. The men traded momentum in the ring for quite some time with appearances from the women. Periodically showing out. They were fighting on the outside, by the way, close to the match. Lawler locked in the rear naked choke. Zack Saber Jr. rolled through with another choke, turning that into a pin to win the match. Fun little match. Match was, like I said, was intense. Loved it. Shiri and Zack, if New Japan and Stardom were to do a mixed tag team tournament, and then they introduced their own like mixed tag titles, I would be okay with Julia and Zack Saber Jr. becoming a tag team. Now that'd be pretty fun because they had interesting chemistry with each other. So I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, and then during the press conference or post match conference drum thing they did, Zack Saber Jr. attempted to join DDM, which I thought was funny. I think she said yes, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Next up, we had it. The first mixed tag, or it was not. Next up, we had another mixed tag match, 8-person tag match. We had Suzuki Guns, Taichi, Kananamaru. They teamed with Tam Nakano and Natsupoi. They defeated El Desperado, Doki, and Black Desire. I actually love one of the things I loved about this is the brother sister esque bond of one El Desperado and Starlight Kid. This was pretty cool. Another team I would love to see if they do any mixed tag tournaments in the future. New Japan Stardom. I don't understand why they didn't do this earlier with the Stardom women. Like, it's just they fit in New Japan. It's like they were a part of the whole. It's like Stardom was a part of. It's almost like women's wrestling was part of New Japan this whole time because they just fit right in. It was great stuff. Like I said, entertaining. Starlight Kid, Natsupoi opened the match. Before Desperado broke up the the gender. So the rule is basically like any other mixed tag match, like basically like in AEW and WWE, the women wrestle the women, the men wrestle the men. However, Momo Watanabe wanted to beat the shit out of Taichi, and I was all for that. so that was cool stuff to see. Doki pulled Kanemaru to the floor where Oedo Tai beat the shit out of him. So again, Oedo Tai wrestling members of Oedo Tai was out there. I think it's great to see Oedo Tai as a full unit do stuff on the show, which I thought was pretty cool. I believe that was the only time they were on that show as a full unit. Back in the ring, Kanemaru was able to create some separation, buying himself some time to tag in Tam Nakano. The match broke down at one point. Once things began to calm down, Nakano and Watanabe were low in the ring. They proved to be on equal footing, causing a double tag. Taichi and Doki tagged in. Going back and forth, the match broke down again after Desperado tried to attack Natsupoi. In the chaos, Kanemaru and Natsupoi had a double miss spot while Taichi and Nakano hit the double drop kick. To close the match, Taichi hit Doke with the Black Mephisto for the win. And that portion of Suzuki Gun wins their mixed tag match with Meltzer. I kind of want to see if they do something else with Taichi and Nakano. I kind of want to have Mio out there just to see how that whole thing plans out. So I thought it was pretty fun. Another fun mixed tag match here, because we had 3 mixed tag matches in a row here. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Utami Hayashishita defeated Hiroki Goto and Maika. These 4 are incredible. Hiroshi Tanahashi, of course, the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Utami Hayashishita, my favorite wrestler in the entire world right now. Doing some great stuff. This one pushed the mix rules out as much as possible. They kind of wanted to make sure that they understood the rules. Of course, the 2 ultra babyface Tanahashi. Utami's sort of the ultra babyface, but not really. Like the ultra babyface is Mayu, but you see what I mean here. So they wanted to do a little bit of intergender wrestling in here. Everyone in this bout wasn't fantastic. The match opened with Utami and Maika striking the men on the apron in an act of protest against the mixed tag rules, which that's right, they did not like. That's right, they didn't like the mixed tag rules. I mean, fair. I mean, Candice LeRae, I mean, Young Bucks beat the shit out of Candice LeRae one time, so it's understandable. With the help from Tanahashi, Utami gained the first lead of the match after tagging in Goto, reversed the momentum, establishing control over Tanahashi. Tanahashi answered with a dragon screw and sling blade to reset the match. The women then tagged back in to continue to escalate their offense. Maika landed a colossal lariat and a slam, forcing a breakup from Tanahashi. Maika landed some forearms on Tanahashi, but Tanahashi landed a strike on his own, dropping her. Goto hit the ring to even the odds, but with a sling blade from Utami, dropped him, so that was cool to see. Tanahashi tried to follow that up, but Maika caught Tanahashi with a suplex, which looked impressive as hell, leaving the women standing to bring the match to end. Utami hits her hijack powerbomb and pin Maika for the win. After the match, cute little fun moment on the ramp. Utami and Tanahashi play air guitar, so that was pretty cool to see. Next up, we had a 10-man tag match. United Empire defeating Los Ingobernables de Japón, and Cal Fletcher, Mark Davis, TJP, Francesco Akira, and Gideon Gray, who I found out during the show that Kevin Kelly absolutely despises with his entire being. He's like, he is what Judgment Day is to Michael Cole. That's the best way I can describe that. So Gray tried opening the match against Shingo. Well, it didn't go well for him. After he failed to take out Shingo, every member of LIJ turns bullying United Empire's Money Mark, which I thought was funny. Fucking Naito's great. United Empire had a turnaround after Gray tagged out, which, again, bully getting gray as much as you want to, guys. I'm okay with it. And the match continued from there with fairly typical elbows and flops, with elbows and flows rather, with nothing really memorable about it. Match ended when Aussie Open hit their finishing maneuver on Bushi to win. Again, nothing too big about that. Uh, Aussie Open, great tag team. LIJ, great faction. Anytime I get to see Naito, Shingo, and Takahashi wrestle, it's a good day for me. Next up, we have Chaos members Kazuchika Okada, Toriano, and the Great Muta defeated the United Empire's Great Okan, Jeff Cobb, and Aaron Henare. Aaron Hanar, sorry. This was Great Muta's final match in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was mentioned multiple times on commentary. It's great to see the Great Muta wrestle in New Japan again. But this is going to be not okay. We'll rephrase this. This is his last match in New Japan as the Great Muta character. He will be back for New Japan as himself in February, I believe. I don't remember who he's wrestling, but he is going to come back for New Japan as Keiji Muto. But this is his final match as the Great Muta character in New Japan. So, really great to see that, because him and I remember watching. So like my first introduction to the Great Muta was through WCW, but I was able to go back and watch his matches from New Japan, his matches with the Green Nita and the former Hakushi, which is which was bloody stuff. His Tokyo Dome matches with Sting and believe it or not, Hulk Hogan, the guy was able to have the fact that the Great Muta was able to pull out a wrestling match out of Hulk Hogan is something I never thought I'd see. So, but Muta's great. I see why this match was on the card. Again, mainly to have Muta on there, and it's cool to see Muta team with one of the goats of New Japan and Okada. So at one point in this match, Muta tried spraying Okan with the green mist. Once the bell rang, but Okan avoided the mist. The match spilled out to the floor. Muta choked Okan with his hair, Okan's hair, that is. Once the match re-entered the ring, it broke down from there. After a chaotic exchange, Muta hits all of his moves with the leg whips. Muta with some of the best, probably in my opinion, the best dragon screw leg whip in the business. Tries to go for his signature Shining Wizard on Great Okan. Okan blocked the move. Okada and Hanare tagged in. And almost a normal sequence, depending on what you want to ask, depending on who you ask. United Empire took control of the match, clearing the ring of chaos. Okan tried to miss the Muta, but missed. But he missed, and it blinded Jeff Cobb instead, which I will talk about the post-match media scrum for Jeff Cobb, which I thought was fantastic detail. Muta then responded with a mist of his own, dropping Okan with a face full of red mist. Hanare tried to save the match for his team, but a dropkick and a rainmaker clothesline from Okada brings the match to the end, and Okada, Toriano, and Muta win here. It was all right. It was there for Muta. That's what it was for. And Jeff Cobb, a post-match media scrum, which I thought was the funniest thing ever. Play the gimmick up to a T. Instead of looking at the camera, he has his back turned and looking at the wall because he's supposed to be blinded from the mist. And just the little small attention to the details is why I love Jeff Cobb. and why I love wrestling. So that was cool to see that. Next up, Will Ospreay defeated Shota Umino. This match was incredible. Okay, what a show stealing performance from Shota, the shooter of John Moxley. It wasn't a good night for the Mox family over there with Shota and Moxley here. The match opened with high speed exchange before slowing down with some strikes, methodical pacing as the match wore on. Shooter slowly gained more offense ground. He's been coming into his own since going on an excursion, and we've seen that. We saw it with his match with Pac at, I believe it was not DDT Pro. It was, I think it might have been DDT Pro. No, it was Rev Pro, and he wrestled Pac for Pac's title, which was a great match. And also, he had an MVP performance in the 6-man tag match at Forbidden Door, so that was pretty cool to see that. Ospreay then cut off Shota with a dive to the floor. Then he took some time connecting some strikes, controlling the pace. Shota had a short-lived rally up, firing up, but sudden powerbomb from Will Ospreay left ahead. Shota managed to pull Ospreay, but failed to capitalize. Ospreay hit another powerbomb and an Os cutter for a near fall. After a kick out, Ospreay then connected with shots to the back of Umino's head. A pair of super kicks and a clubbering blow set Umino up for the hidden blade, but he ducked. Umino began rallying, but couldn't connect with the Death Rider because he's adapted the Death Rider into his arsenal, which is great to see. I love that. I love that Moxley's young lion is decided to take after his mentor. After the failed finisher, Ospreay landed a hidden blade on a standing Umino, followed by a Stormbreaker to win the match. And then after a great match that was, after that match, with lights went out on the screen. We seen Kenny Omega. He cut a scathing promo against Will Ospreay, blaming him for New Japan's failures. And Omega then challenged Ospreay for a match at Wrestle Kingdom and promised to save the company once again. And then we find out it will be Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, IWGP United States title at Wrestle Kingdom 17, which is why when they revealed the dates for the Best of 7 series between Death Triangle and Pac on Death Triangle and the Elite at Full Gear, January 4th was left off there because Kenny Omega was going to be in Tokyo for Wrestle Kingdom. But after the promo a little bit, Ospreay said that while Omega left, Ospreay stayed even when there were bad times. He'll see him at Wrestle Kingdom, basically. Main event, IWGP, our main event to crown the first ever IWGP Women's Champion. Kairi Hojo defeated Mayu Iwatani in an incredible match. What a match this was. These two did not disappoint. I knew these two were going to have a great match. They tend to have the last time they wrestled each other, I loved it, and it's so cool to see that both Kairi and Io are champions in wrestling in 2022. Two different promotions, and that's cool to see. The match opened with a sequence that Kairi, from a sequence that sent Kairi to the floor. Mayu followed her with an opening top tope to the ground, followed by a drop kick to the top rope. From the top rope, Mayu continued with an established control by working the arm of Kairi. That soon found its way to the outside of the ring. On the ramp, Kairi landed a running knee take the lead. Back into the ring, Kairi landed a leaping forearm from the top rope, which she knows how to deliver, and it looks beautiful when she does it. Then she starts taking the mat. After returning to a standing position, a pair of strikes from both of them. Again, they were hitting each other like they both owed each other money at one point in this match, and it was brutal stuff. Now on even footing again, Kairi and Mayu began trading strikes. Mayu gained a bit of an upper hand, but Kairi then interrupted with a springboard Rana attempt. After a struggle, Mayu hit a Rana off the top rope, which she followed up with a picture-perfect splash from the top rope, her frog splash, which is beautiful stuff. I don't know. I think she has a name for that move, but I'm not actually sure what she calls it. Mayu then tried a moonsault, missed. Kairi then followed up with a violent shove into the corner. Kairi locked in the anchor, but Mayu worked along the arm earlier of Kairi, and Kairi couldn't hold in the move for very long, so she collapsed with the move. Kairi then hit her insane elbow, forwarding a fall. Kairi again hitting some nasty elbow strikes. One that finishes off after. Well, Mayu hit Kairi with a crucifix powerbomb, but or crucifix bomb rather, a regular crucifix bomb. Kairi kicked out. Mayu landed the dragon suplex, which is nasty. Mayu with her suplexes are nasty. German suplexes and dragon suplexes are nasty. But this time Kairi was able to get on the ropes, or either she was all right. So Kairi didn't actually put herself on the ropes. Mayu was a little too close to the ropes, and Kairi's feet got underneath the rope, which caused the pin to be broken up. Again, Kairi took all of Mayu's best, but Kairi, again, nasty elbow strikes to the face of Mayu. Kairi scaled to the top rope delivered a elbow to the back, and then again to another insane elbow for a third time to capture the IWGP Women's Championship. This match was incredible. One of my favorite matches of the weekend. This weekend. So I'll go over my favorite matches of this weekend after I talk about what's next with the IWGP Women's title, because we did find out Kairi is cutting a promo at the end of the show. That's what all the New Japan Stardom shows have. They have somebody cutting a promo after their matches. She opened the door for a title challenge on January 4th. Out comes Tam Nakano, because they mentioned this early on, teasing Nakano possibly challenging for the IWGP Women's title at Wrestle Kingdom. And then we find out it's going to be Tam Nakano challenging Kairi for the title at Wrestle Kingdom. Then we also found out, again, like I said earlier, during media press conference, media scrum thing, Kairi's doing her little promo thing, media scrum thing, and then interrupted by Utami Hayashishita. She challenges her to a non-title match at Dream Queendom. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, overall, a Start crossover, great event. I think it was a success. I'd like to see more New Japan Stardom crossover shows like this. And I hope when they get the Forbidden Door 2, it's not just New Japan. You are able to have Stardom, at least Stardom wrestlers on that show too with AEW. That should be fun. I love that both Stardom and New Japan are in the middle of their tag league tournaments. But yeah, I enjoyed this show. My matches of the weekend for both AEW and the Star crossover. I got Jamie Hayter, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm. That match was incredible. The Death Triangle Elite match was fun. I enjoyed the Ring of Honor title match. I enjoyed Will Ospreay Shota Umino. I enjoyed the Hiroshi Tanahashi Utami Hiroki Goto Maika match. And of course, Mayu Iwatani, Kairi Hojo fucking killed it. They usually do that. But yeah, that's what I have to say on my thoughts on this entire show. Again, all that social media stuff is in the description box below. I will see you guys back here for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. The final Raw before Survivor Series. I've got Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Winner of that match gets their team at the advantage in War Games. We also may find out who the 5th member of Team Bianca is. We also have, I believe, it's a fatal 4-way match for the United States title. I think it's supposed to be Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Matt Riddle, and Austin Theory. Don't quote me on that. SmackDown, we also got the final build for that. Again, we got McIntyre, Sheamus. They'll be taking on the Usos. Whatever that match gets the team advantage for War Games. We also got the fallout from AEW Full Gear coming up on Wednesday. All that good stuff. Much, much more. Until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. You've been listening to the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. See you till next time. We're out.